Good Friday evening, June 13th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. An apartment fire in East Wenatchee last night went to 2 alarms as crews worked to save the structure. A California felon will spend up to 3 years in a Washington prison for unlawfully carrying a collection of revolvers in his vehicle following a traffic stop in East Wenatchee. Sunny skies and seasonally warm temperatures this Father's Day weekend with breezy and even warmer temperatures next week. I'll have your full local weather forecast straight ahead. Air traffic at Pangborn Memorial Airport was put on pause this afternoon when a small plane suffered a minor crash on one of the runways. It happened about 2:10 p.m. and fire and ambulance crews got to the scene quickly. The cause of the mishap wasn't immediately known, but authorities said there were no injuries to anyone on board or on the ground. NCWLIFE News reached out to Pangborn Airport to learn more, including whether the Cessna 210 was taxiing for takeoff or landing. Check our website later on at ncwlife.com for developing details. Supporters of the Decker family have announced a public memorial service for Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia, the 3 Wenatchee sisters found murdered June 2nd in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. The girls have been missing for 3 days after being taken by their father for visitation. Organizers now say they'll honor the children's memory at 7 p.m. next Friday, June 20th at Rocky Reach Dam Park north of Wenatchee. Parking is limited at the site, so shuttles will be offered from Old Station and from Lincoln Elementary School. That's where Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia were all students. Arrangements for the sisters' funerals are being managed by Brookside Funeral Home. The girls' father, Travis Decker, is still sought as the lone suspect in their murder. He is thought to have escaped into the Enchantments Wilderness area. A $20,000 reward is offered through the U.S. Marshals Service for information leading to his capture. An apartment fire in East Wenatchee last night went to 2 alarms as crews worked to save the structure. The fire was reported about 6 p.m. at Columbia Square Apartments in the 600 block of 4th Street Southeast. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett told NCWLIFE News the fire apparently began on an outside deck on the 2nd floor.
They were able to hit it with a deck gun from Eastmont Street, knock the fire down significantly, and then we're able to advance a line through to check for extension in the neighboring occupancies as well as the 3rd floor attic. Everyone was able to evacuate on their own. No firefighters or civilians were injured. However, unfortunately, a cat is missing, and we're working with the occupants to see if we can help locate their cat with the Humane Society. But damage was minimal, great fast response, good stop. Everybody is living in the units. No one is affected.
An East Wenatchee man arrested last year with a modified handgun and a 3D printed pistol was sentenced yesterday to 30 months in federal prison. 20-year-old Abraham Aguilar Leon pleaded guilty in March in U.S. District Court to illegal possession of a machine gun. Aguilar was arrested by sheriff's deputies last July after he allegedly threatened to shoot random passersby near Riverwalk Park in Chelan. In his backpack, deputies found a .40 caliber handgun with a Glock switch that allowed for fully automatic gunfire, as well as the printed ghost gun. A 30-month sentence is shorter than that sought by acting U.S. Attorney Richard Barker, who asked for a 4-year prison term. Aguilar had requested to serve only 2 years. He's been held in the Spokane County Jail since October. When we come back, the Lake Chelan School Board on Monday unanimously approved the placement of a school construction bond on the November ballot, and the state audit report says the former director of the Port of Mattawa misused the agency's credit card and payroll accounts to the tune of at least $20,000. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Here's a good-looking pizza, guaranteed to bring some summer smiles. And right now, it's on sale, so it's good for your wallet too. This giant is loaded with toppings and can feed up to 6 people. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. It's the summer of good, only at Abby's Legendary Pizza.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
The Lake Chelan School Board on Monday unanimously approved the placement of a school construction bond on November ballots. The $73 million bond would allow the district to build a new elementary school, bring preschool into the elementary building, and add an ADA accessible fitness center to the middle and high school. Additionally, the bond would also improve Mountain Goat Field with a regulation-sized track and update the district's metal and wood trade shops to bring them up to industry standards. The estimated bond cost is projected to be in 9/10 of a cent per $1,000 of assessed property value. If voters pass the bond, Morgan Owens Elementary School is eligible for $4 million in state construction assistance to minimize community costs.
Jefferson Robbins for NCWLIFE. A California felon will spend up to 3 years in a Washington prison for unlawfully carrying a collection of revolvers in his vehicle. 39-year-old Dalen James Isaacs pleaded guilty last month in Douglas County Court after a January traffic stop by East Wenatchee police turned up 3 .22 caliber pistols. His pickup truck was searched after a police dog detected a supply of fentanyl and methamphetamine. Prosecutors dropped charges of drug possession in exchange for Isaac's plea. At the time police arrested him, he was in violation of his release conditions in California, where he has previous convictions, including burglary and forgery. In 2020, Isaacs was arrested in his hometown of Lompoc, California, for allegedly trying to sell a stolen guitar signed by rock musician Tom Petty.
Our Valley, Our Future is seeking a leader to head its organization for the first time ever. The nonprofit guides a community-generated action plan every 5 years while coordinating with groups who work on the region's biggest challenges. The executive director will oversee the nonprofit's day-to-day operations while collaborating with community leaders and leading initiatives. The new position will report to the nonprofit's board. Steve Maher has served as the organization's coordinator since 2017 in a similar role and will continue to assist the organization as it begins work on its third action plan. A state audit report says the former director of the Port of Mattawa misused the agency's credit card and payroll accounts to the tune of at least $20,000. Lars Leland came on board as manager of the Economic Development Agency in 2018 and departed last year. The Washington State Auditor's Office now says Leland used the port's credit cards for about $7,000 worth of unapproved purchases over about 18 months and cashed out $13,000 in unused sick leave despite port policies forbidding the practice. There were another $10,000 in purchases, including food, fuel, and beverages that were marked as questionable. Auditors said they will turn over their findings to the Grant County Prosecuting Attorney's Office for a possible criminal case. Leland has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Coming up next, the Wenatchee Mountain Berry Bowls truck will celebrate its first anniversary on June 25th. We'll have more in tonight's feature story. Sunny with temperatures in the low to mid 80s this Father's Day weekend. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
The joys of sitting in traffic, burning gas, donating your paycheck to parking enforcement. Or you could join us this June for Ride Transit Month. On Link, you ride for free, anytime, anywhere. Plus, Link's electric buses run on clean, local hydropower. Thanks, Columbia River. So while you're saving some cash, you're also saving a planet. So hop on board Link for Ride Transit Month. Stress-free, wallet-friendly, eco-smart.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Victoria Harbor Cats on Friday, June 27th. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.
In tonight's feature story, the Wenatchee Mountain Berry Bowls truck will celebrate its first anniversary on June 25th. The Smoothie Bowl truck was first launched in Whitefish, Montana by Jared and Lindley Lynch, but Caleb Ambrose and Byron Chudd decided to bring the business to the Wenatchee Valley last summer. Caleb and Brian say it's been a busy year with their menu of smoothie bowls quickly gaining popularity within the local community. Looking back now, the pair says they've learned a lot of lessons along the way.
We have known each other since, well, I guess since I was born, because we were cousins. And yeah, so we used to spend time together in the summers, mostly in Montana. Brian's from Alaska, so they would come down, take a family trip, and we would hang at the lake and play soccer, and yeah, we grew up being boys together.
I would dominate him.
He would.
At everything.
He was way older, it wasn't fair. My wife and I living in Montana, we met the owners and became fast and good friends with the franchise owners of Mountain Berry Bowls, and then we were planning to move back to Wenatchee, and I always saw Wenatchee as a perfect spot to start a acai berry bowl truck.
My role in that, Caleb started talking to me about it about 5 years ago probably, when he first started hanging out with Jared and Lindley, and he was like, man, they got something good happening. You should just stop what you're doing and move out here and do this with me. And I kind of laughed at the idea for a while, because it was well outside of my anything I knew. And but yeah, things just aligned at the right time, and we decided to jump and do it. We officially opened on the 25th of June, 2024. Some of the day-to-day challenges that we run into are weather. So when you're making the product we make, if it changes the consistency of certain things in the truck, the blend, if it's super hot, it's going to be a runnier blend, so you have to adjust what you're doing. Everything is gluten-free on our menu. It's dairy-free. There are certain things that could be, if people are allergic to honey, for instance, we have honey on the bowls. A lot of people will omit the honey or the bee pollen that we put on one of the bowls. The most popular bowl by far is our Bomber Bowl. Kind of has a little bit of everything, and then we have a lot of people that add mango to a lot of the bowls, but the Bomber Bowl especially is overwhelmingly our most popular one. We get probably half of our sales go to that bowl. So we have 2 locations. We have one permanent location, which is here at Works Gym, open 9 to 7 Monday through Friday, and 9 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. And then this truck behind me here is our events truck, and we go all over the place with that thing. For a lot of small businesses, I think, is when you first start in a small town, this might be, you're a flash in the pan, it's gonna die down. But we are consistently getting new people coming to the truck that are like, I've been wanting to try you, I haven't gotten a chance yet. And I think that's exciting for us, because we feel like there's still a lot of room to grow, which surprises me in a town this size.
The community engagement is one of the most fulfilling parts of running this business with Brian. I've lived here on and off for 10 years total, and seeing all these events through the eyes of a business owner has been really unique and fun to engage with the community in that way. And so there's all these events that I never even knew existed until now, and we're seeking them out and we're being sought out, so that's a really fun way to engage with the community. One of our biggest lessons has been, over the past year, has been to know how far to extend ourselves and be sure not to overextend ourselves, which probably every small business that starts wants to rapidly grow, and that comes with its own growing pains, but it's very exciting to grow, and so we're really happy with the ability and flexibility with our franchise owners to have 2 units operating now, and really happy with where we've landed. It's a lot of work, but we're happy that we've been able to make that happen.
I mean, we're learning every day. I feel like I'm constantly in the steep learning curve, which I keep waiting for it to plateau, and it hasn't yet. But we're learning about the business, we're learning about advertising, we're learning about marketing, we're learning about how best to connect with different people in the community. It's a constant learning curve, and I like that. I like being challenged, and who knew that it would be in the smoothie bowl industry that would challenge me the most.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you ended this work week on a high note. Weather-wise, not bad. It was windy this morning, but it kind of laid down a little bit this afternoon and made for just a nice day out there. South shore of Lake Chelan, doesn't it look nice? And lots of activity out on the lake today, and why not? Temperatures cooled off somewhat, but still plenty warm for this time of year. And we'll talk more about if we will continue to see those warm temperatures as we make our way through the weekend, and the answer is yes. As we get into Saturday, we will see high temperatures in the low 80s here in the Wenatchee Valley, mostly sunny skies out there. For Sunday and Father's Day, it is going to be beautiful. Sunshine with high temperatures in the mid 80s, and then as we get into Monday and Tuesday, we will see a bit of a warm-up, upper 80s both days. Not so much windy on Monday, a little bit breezy, but we will see those winds, especially on Tuesday, which will once again elevate that fire weather concerns that we have with all of the dry conditions currently all over Washington state. So we'll keep our eye on that. Today's high temperature, nice and comfortable out there, unofficially at 80 degrees, just a few degrees above where we should be at 77 for this time of year. There's a hot one back in 2019. That's our record high of 95 degrees. Back to where we should be as far as low temperatures go as well. 57 overnight, 54 is our normal low, and 43 our record low set in 1991. Sunrise 5:04 and sunset now just before 9 o'clock at 8:59. All right, getting you into the weekend weather, and it looks nice tomorrow. 84 Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. 83 for the Wenatchee Valley tomorrow. Also Eniat and Chelan. 83 up in Omak. 79 for you folks in Lake Wenatchee, and also low 80s for both Leavenworth and Cashmere tomorrow afternoon. So a beautiful start to this Father's Day weekend. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Once again, that anchoring high pressure still out in the Pacific, and it hasn't moved much in about a week or so. We'll see lows tonight in the low to mid 50s. So once again, back to where we should see our low temperatures. For Saturday, nothing but clear skies in central and eastern Washington to kick off our weekend. Going to warm up just a little bit into those low 80s by Saturday afternoon. For your Father's Day, that warm up will continue as we get into Sunday. Sunny skies once again. Look at that. Not a cloud in the sky throughout Washington state, and boy, the whole West Coast. Warmer for Sunday with high temperatures into the mid 80s. So it is going to be a great day to get outside and enjoy Dad a little bit on Sunday afternoon. For Monday, mostly sunny skies. Low pressure once again slides into eastern Washington. That'll kick the breezes up a little on Monday, but our temperatures, they're also also going to get kicked up a little bit into the upper 80s for Tuesday. Breezy conditions, sunshine out there with high temperatures still above normal on Tuesday into the mid 80s. And then past Tuesday into Wednesday, I think this will be our windiest day, and that's the day we're really going to keep an eye on. Mostly sunny, low pressures to our north with that high pressure in the Pacific, and boy, just a ton of wind in central Washington on Wednesday. Going to cool down a little bit too with high temperatures in the low 80s for Wednesday. And then by the end of our forecast on Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Most of the wind will move off to the east. We will continue with a slight cool down with highs on Thursday around 80. And folks, looking past Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it looks like highs maybe in the 60s with rain showers. And boy, could we ever use that. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 55 overnight tonight, and then just a beautiful Father's Day weekend. 83 Saturday, 86 Sunday, even warmer on Monday. This will be our hot day, mostly sunny and 88. And then the winds pick up on both Tuesday and Wednesday as we begin a slow cool down. 85 Tuesday, 82 Wednesday, mostly sunny and nice on Thursday with high temperatures right around 80 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Victoria Harbor Cats on Friday, June 27th. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station. Happy Finally Friday. The Mariners are back home to host Cleveland in the first of a 6-game homestand at T-Mobile Park. Guardians come to town with a 35-32 record. That's good enough for third place in the American League Central behind Detroit, Minnesota. They'll send Gavin Williams to the bump, who is 5-3 with a 3.86 earned run average. Mariners have dropped to a game below 500 following a 1-5 road trip. They've lost 13 of their last 16 and have fallen out of first place in the AL West. Last time that happened, by the way, for the Mariners last August, and that resulted in the firing of Scott Service. Luis Castillo will be on the mound for the Mariners tonight. He's 4-4 with a 3.31 earned run average. First pitch at 7:10. That game broadcast on Root Sports Northwest. Two teams were active in the American League West last night, with Texas rocking Minnesota 16-3. Houston got by the White Sox 4-3. Astros lead in the division is now 4.5 games over Seattle and the Angels. Texas is now 5 games back. Well, Leonard Williams, also known as the Big Cat, is entering his 11th NFL season this year and is an anchor on the Seahawks defensive line. He and the rest of the veterans are just finishing up minicamp with the rookies and the rest of the team. He says he can feel a big swing in the right direction in Seattle.
I mean, I feel it a lot. I'm obviously going into year 11, so I played a lot of football, been on a lot of teams, and not only am I seeing that we have a very talented team right now, one thing that stands out above the talent is just the connection, and that's something that I've been trying to talk to the guys that's like really going to take us to that next level where we want to go. Because I've told them I've been on tons of talented teams that, you know, we have great players in all positions, but we just didn't have that same connection. And, you know, we had a 10-win season but didn't go to the playoffs and stuff like that. And I'm telling them how those small things, like having connection and being able to communicate on and off the field, kind of helps you get to that next level.
Williams had 11 sacks and a 92-yard interception return for a touchdown last season for the Seahawks. Coach Mike McDonald says the Big Cat is a key cog with his performance as well as his leadership.
Man, he's one of our driving forces. You got to give him a lot of credit on his approach since, we met him a year ago. We knew he was an awesome guy. We knew he was a great football player, but what we needed from him was more in terms of a leadership role and asserting himself. And he does it his style, but, at this point in your career to challenge yourself to take it to another level, I think that speaks volumes for who he is. And our coaches, they deserve a shout out too, because they saw it in him and work with them, consistently. Leslie does a great job with that AD. Well, obviously we love him, but there's high expectations too. I mean, he's he's got to win. He's got to win rushes. He's got to be disruptive in the run game. He's got to set other guys up when they're giving him attention in the blocking or in their protection scheme. So, but that's what you want as a premier player. You want that added attention.
A new wrinkle being installed by the coaching staff for the Seahawks this offseason is to have players share the personal reasons for playing football. Williams says it was a sense of stability when life was very unstable for him as a kid.
But for me, I think just football gave me everything I have in life. I grew up, homeless at times. I grew up living in and out of hotels, motels, and kind of an unstable lifestyle as a young kid. And when I found football in high school, it gave me stability. It gave me good male role models in my life. And it just gave me something to kind of distract myself from everything going on at home. So for me, after that, just learning from coaches, good male role models in my life, I just fell in love with it, fell in love with the camaraderie, the family aspect of my teammates and stuff like that. And I'm sure you could ask every single person at this point, it's never was about the money. The money ends up coming with it, obviously, but for every single person that talks about their why, it's because they had some type of lifestyle like that growing up, and then it kind of brought them to this point.
Leonard Williams says sharing stories of why football has helped players understand each other more off the field is a big part of team building as they look forward. The Wenatchee Apple Sox won a seesaw battle with Kamloops last night. Final 11-7. Wenatchee opened up the scoring in the first inning on Jack Barker's two-run triple. The Northpaws cut the lead in half on an RBI single by Ethan Kadama in the second. Apple Sox went up 5-1 in the third as Jake Sanko began the rally with an RBI double. Kamloops tied the game in the fourth with a 4-run rally highlighted by Jared Hall's two-run single. Wenatchee regained the lead in the fifth on Cade Martinez's RBI single. Northpaws countered by taking advantage of an error in the sixth, scoring 2 runs to take a 7-6 lead. The seventh inning stretch brought fans to their feet. There was really no reason to sit back down as the Apple Sox brought 10 men to the plate, scoring 5 runs with Jack Barker's 2-run single being the big hit, and the Sox regaining the lead and went on for the 11-7 win. Gunnar Penscover worked 3 2/3 innings of relief for the win, while Carson Bozel kept his ERA at zip, pitching the final 2 innings without allowing a hit, with also 3 strikeouts. Wenatchee welcomes Port Angeles to town for the first of 3 games tonight at 6:35. The Lefties come to town after sweeping a non-league series against the Seattle Gumbaroos, the final game last night, by a score of 9-1. Bellingham edged Bend 4-3 to complete a 3-game sweep. Edmonton shut out Kelowna 7-0. Nanaimo doubled up Victoria 8-4. Walla Walla handed Portland its first loss of the season 5-3. Corvallis topped Springfield 5-3. Yakima Valley outdueled Ridgefield 14-11. 2 teams combined for 29 hits and 3 homers in that one. Marion Berries improved to 5-4 with a 5-3 win over Cowlitz. Well, the Bells remain atop the North Division standings of the West Coast League at 9-3. Wenatchee is a game back at 8-4. Edmonton is just a half game behind the Apple Sox at 6-3. Kamloops leaves Wenatchee at 7-5, 2 games out of first place. Victoria dropped to 6-6 and in currently 5th place. Port Angeles comes to town tonight with a 2-7 league record, already 5.5 games out of first place in the first half standings. Well, be sure to tune in for live coverage tonight of the game between the Apple Sox and Lefties from Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. I'll be joined by Brandon Schmitten with the call. Our pregame starting at 6:30 right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Well, there's a big Father's Day bash going on this weekend at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. It's officially being called the Bump to Pass Father's Day Bash, with the Johnson Electric Bump to Pass cars being featured. Also racing this weekend will be the Rockstar Energy B-Mods, Plum Perfect Roadrunners, Apple Valley Pumping Crown Vic stocks, and the B&T Towing Youth Roadrunners. Gates open tomorrow at 4:30. Racing underway at 6. Go to WVSO.com if you want tickets or more information. That's Checkin' Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great Father's Day weekend.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us. Have a great night and happy Father's Day to all you dads out there.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.